And away we go. We're doing a video here on multiple headphones, something I don't do very often. So there's 6 regular size and 1 small, and I'm going to run these down real quick so this doesn't take too long. The first is the ubiquitous Airpods, and I'm going to tell you something pretty amazing about the Airpods, and that is when I use the Airpods, here's the curve that I use, and you can see here where I boosted the bass around 40 Hertz, about 6 decibels, and where I've pushed down 5 kilohertz, about 10 decibels or so, about 11, and got most of the treble pushed down with it, so there's a greatly reduced treble here. And I think that's because in the case of the Airpods, these sit a little more towards my outer ear than what they do for some people with smaller ears or smaller ear canals, and these don't go into the canals, they sit on the outside. But if somebody has smaller ears and they sit really close to somebody's ear canals, they'll probably get better bass, less treble, and so they may actually play them flat and enjoy them that way. And the Airpods have enough good quality to them, almost like an IEM, that they can actually play, in near hi-fi quality if you get the tuning right, get the equalization right. So that's the Airpods. And next I have an odd little item, and this is the Shinola made in Detroit on-ear headphone. They have a round ear, some people call it over ear, and it's last time I checked, $350. That's what I had to get for this thing. So it's a fashion item, and there's a lot of $350 headphones that are Bluetooth that are better than this. And this is cord only, no Bluetooth in here. And besides all that, it's a fairly stiff headband up here. It's fairly heavy for a small on-ear headphone because they have so much metal in here in these cups and in the headband. And you can see the kind of heavy side pieces they have over here. But the other thing about these is that ear pads are, the outside of them is soft, but they have almost no depth to them, so they're pretty hard on the outer ears. And if I use these, I have to shift them around on my ears a few times before they finally settle in, because when you first put them on and everything else, after a few seconds they'll start pinching. So $350 for a fashion earphone that's just a kind of a plain gray metal. I don't know, but anyway, it gives people in Detroit some jobs. Let's see, here's my other on-ear. This is the 10th anniversary edition of the Beats Solo 3. Solo 3 is a 2-year-old model now. I think it's getting kind of long in the tooth here. It's got some really great qualities though, and that is that the fit is pretty wide. I'm fitting in the middle of that, so it'll fit large heads and small heads, so it's got a good range of adjustment there. And the ear pads are very, very soft, and as an on-ear headphone, this has got to be one of the most comfortable I've ever used. And it's very well built. Ever since Apple took over Beats, they put Apple quality onto it, so so it's got real Apple quality, but of course they sell a lot of fakes through different sites. I'm not sure about Amazon, but reading the bad reviews on there, I'd say that there's an awful lot of people getting bad fakes and writing reviews on them, but don't believe it. Had a lot of Beats headphones out of the Apple store, and they are top-notch quality. Now, as far as the sound of the Beats Solo 3, let us take a quick look at that. And you can take this as an approximation. I lowered the bass down here between probably about 80 Hertz and 200 Hertz by about 7 decibels. And not much else there to really complain about, except I had a pretty strong 7 kilohertz there that I moved down about 5 decibels. And I think that's right around, yeah, 7 kilohertz. So fairly strong treble, and a fairly strong bass to match. So it's definitely a V-shaped type of sound. Outdoor use might be just perfect. Indoors, I think if you're okay with the bass, you'll still have a little problem with that peak up there in the mid-upper treble. So that's a Solo 3. But all around, well, the price of $300, I don't know, you know. It's hard to recommend for $300, but anyway, it's got a lot of great combination of features, and I find it to be one of the most useful headphones I've ever had, once it's equalized, of course. So Solo 3. Next, let's go to this other odds and ends kind of thing here. This is a Senal SMH 1200. Got this for B&H, $150 retail. The great thing about the Senal, and let me bring up the sound curve I did on that. It's not very radical here. There it is. Well, it is a little bit, actually. Oops. Let's go back here to full screen. Here's what I did on the Senal. I did raise the bass up around, about 40 hertz by about 6 decibels. Very tiny adjustment in the lower mid-range, and about a plus 4, -3 in the treble, so it has a little bit of a recess at 5 kilohertz. You notice a lot of these headphones will have recesses at the same frequency that other headphones have peaks. So, I mean, it's real, you know, and that's why they say plus or minus on these things. So by comparing all these together with test tones and everything else, the test tone doesn't set the curve and tell you what's the right kind of sound, but the test tone is a perfect comparison between headphones. You get them both equalized to be exactly the same at 1 kilohertz, and then if one's a lot quieter than the other one at 5 kilohertz, you can go from there. So it's a comparison. Everything's comparison, you know. And here we have the. By the way, what I didn't mention on the Beats Solo 3 is that it plays in passive mode. You plug a cable in with the thing off, stays off, so you conserve your battery. And here we have the Bose QC35-2, and I'm going to bring up the sound curve on that, QC35-2, and here, not much, and the reason why there's not much equalization here is simply because the Bose, they, with their internal system that does their noise canceling and their Bluetooth, they also have equalization to flatten out the sound. So that's how Bose gets a pretty good sound, by using their own equalization in there. Now, since the Bose headphone does play in passive mode, I plugged the cable in here with the headphone off. It played with and stayed off, no lights on. The passive mode does not sound as good as the active mode, and that's because they're doing equalization in active mode. This is not a to me, this is not a very robust build. I don't know how long this will last. My first Bose QC1, it deteriorated, and the QC2, in less than a year, the earpieces just crumbled, and earpads crumbled, and then it finally just quit working entirely. So I don't know how good the quality is on these new models, but it certainly doesn't look like a robust headphone. $350 though, and I'm not sure the noise canceling is as good as the QC35 or the QC25, which are very impressive. So anyway, there's the Bose, and the Bose does fold up really small at least. And last but not least, we come to the v-moda Crossfade 2 wireless, or wireless 2 as some people call it, and this is the Codex edition. So they had a previous wireless, or wireless 2, that was one of the 3 available models had the latest Bluetooth spec, and the other 2 did not. And this new generation They all have the latest Bluetooth spec, which may even be ahead of the wireless one, or whatever they call it, pre-codex edition. So this is the matte black edition, and this is really, this is the descendant to the king of headphones, the M100. And I think I once said of the v-moda, it might have been the M100, I said the M100 sounds like the sound just kind of wraps around you like three friends in bed, and somebody could take that the wrong way as a sexual reference, but it doesn't have to be. It just means it just has that feel, and it's really pretty cool. And so let's get to the actual curve that I did on the v-moda latest. Yeah, let's see where we are here. That is the Wireless 2 Codex Edition. And here I have a little bit of bass reduction down here because it has a fairly strong bass. And I have some compensation for a recess at 5.3 kilohertz of all places. Now, whether that'll smooth out in time, I've got about 20 hours on it so far. Whether that'll smooth out in time, I don't know. I suppose it will. But anyway, the basic idea is here that it has a, and I'm equalizing out to 13 kilohertz here, and I'm not doing anything above 8 kilohertz. So no boosting or cutting or anything above 8 kilohertz, and I'm going out to 13, and it's right up there. So I'd say it's not as bright as a like a Sennheiser HD800, but it's definitely got a real representative treble, and just that strong bass in there. So the strong bass isn't as strong as an M100, a couple decibels difference, but you still get the idea when you listen to it. It's amazing. And this particular one here has the click fold mechanism on it, but it's a very industrial, military grade quality, so it should last forever, I would think. And it has a really good range of adjustment, which we can see here, and I fit somewhere in the middle of that, so that's a great range of adjustment. These are replaceable, these ear plates here, they call them shields, and they have a lot of customizations available on those, anywhere from 25 to 150 bucks. And this plays wireless or wired, and I plugged the cable in with the electronics off, and it played. So it does have a passive mode, and unlike the Bose, the pure passive mode on here sounds the same as the active mode for Bluetooth, which is great. And so it's very comfortable. It's got very soft and squishy ear cushions. The ear pads, I think this is not the biggest ear pads they make, so you can get extra size ear pads if you need them. They fit my average size ears. They fit fairly snug. So if you got big ears, you're going to need the extra ear pads. And let's see what else here. The v-moda latest. And okay, I talked about the shields on here. And this, oh yes, the thing about the is it the Bluetooth? Okay, we have Bluetooth here, but we don't have any noise canceling. Now the Beats has noise canceling, which is not great because if you're in traffic or anywhere where there's heavy rumble in the environment, it multiplies it, and for some reason there's no way around that. So I don't like it for noise canceling in the kind of places where you really need it. The Bose has the flattest noise canceling, but it also hisses, and yeah, I don't know. I'd say the Bose okay for a plane trip. Anything else, forget it. You know, get something with good isolation like this right here. So anyway, my favorite, the new king of headphones, v-moda Crossfade 2 Wireless Codex Edition. And that's my 7 headphone earphone roundup. Thank you very much.